Hey, it's Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD. In my over 30 years of medical practice, I've made it my goal to help you create a great life by achieving a strong mind, a healthy body, and an unshakable spirit. I'm really excited to bring you this relationship series. In my previous video, I discussed jealousy as a particular facet of relationships which often create disagreement and division. In this next segment, I want to talk about conflict and conflict resolution. Conflict, it can be hostile and it can be at the center of any relationship breakdown. I've identified 3 different types of conflict which are particularly disconcerting and particularly upsetting in any type of relationship. It could be a business relationship, it could be a romantic relationship, but conflict is very difficult to deal with. The first type of conflict that I have found is particularly uncomfortable is confrontation. Who likes confrontation? Over the years, I've talked with thousands of people about relationships, and at the forefront, the most difficult part of a relationship is confronting someone when one person feels a change needs to be made. One of the most difficult things to confront someone with is if you suspect an individual could be cheating. Certainly cheating obviously means in a romantic relationship that one party is going or being with somebody else other than the party they should be with, or their spouse or their girlfriend or boyfriend. Very difficult when confronting someone who's cheating, but obviously it needs to be done. When you see somebody who you love or you care for, and you see them engaging in bad habits, it's very uncomfortable to confront that person, to help them make a change. You feel like you want to do something, you want to say something, but you just can't do it because of the confrontation. Money issues is another very strong area where confrontation occurs. I'm asked all the time when someone is having difficulty with relationships, when we boil it down, it comes to money issues and the difficulty of confronting someone who you need to make changes in their money habits, or there's some discrepancy in accounting, for instance. It's very difficult to confront that person. Another area where confrontation is particularly difficult is with responsibilities. Again, this could be in a business relationship, it could be in a romantic relationship, but the delineation of responsibilities is a difficult one. For instance, in a business setting, if you're seeing a person who you think is not living or not working up to their responsibilities, it might be hard, and it often is hard, in a constructive way to confront that person. The second area that I'd like to talk about when it comes to conflict is disagreements. Disagreements could be disagreements of opinion, perspective, but when you have a disagreement, this can lead to a conflict. Disagreements on values, whether it could be ethical, could be religious, it could be moral. Those disagreements often lead to conflict. So we've seen that we have confrontation conflicts, we have disagreement conflicts, and the third area is what I call internal conflicts. Internal conflicts don't deal with another person, it deals with us, our internal conflicts, our pull and push. Those internal conflicts usually stem from a struggle, an internal struggle of right and wrong. So why do we have conflicts, and what is it about them that makes us so uneasy and makes relationships so difficult? And it all comes down to what I've talked about in the past of our automatic brain. And that automatic brain, just as a recap, that automatic brain will do whatever it takes by all means necessary to keep us from danger, threats, or vulnerability. The way it does that is through our limbic system, which is the part of our brain that causes us to fight or flee danger. So we'll get it into a situation where our brain will interpret that there's some danger and it will cause us to fight or flee. Well, confrontation is kind of obvious, right? In any type of conflict. When you have confrontation, that is a direct danger. And I've talked about the 3 big dangers that our automatic brain picks up on. It's the one-up danger, it's the comfort zone danger, and it's the loss of love danger. And those 3 are at the center of our difficulties with conflict. With confrontation, it's a matter of the danger of being one-upped. And in a romantic relationship, it's also the danger of losing love. So those two are at play here. So let's think about it, okay? If you have a conflict with somebody that is a conflict of confrontation, and that conflict of confrontation is stemming from, let's say, cheating, now you have to confront somebody who you suspect might be cheating. That automatic brain picks up the one-up danger because you may be being one-upped by the person outside of your relationship who your partner's cheating on, and you may be one-upped by your partner because that partner is taking advantage of you, which is a one-up trigger. But you're also being triggered by the potential of losing love. So both of those things are happening, and they cause the fight or flight. They cause you to fight or flee. So you might fight and go into a rage, or you may flee. You may withdraw. You may try to ignore the whole situation and avoid the conflict completely. But what I've learned and what I've seen and what people have told me, and I've experienced myself, when you flee, what you're doing is you're basically causing a long-term pain. It may be a short-term pain by confronting, but you're creating a long-term pain. It's often better to confront, to not believe, trust, and take direction from that fight or flight, to confront it, to know exactly where you stand. Then you have the disagreement conflict, and the disagreement is very similar. The danger is being one-upped. The danger is the threat of losing love. Now, if you're in a romantic relationship, you're being one-upped because you're having a fight, a disagreement, whether it's over what food to eat or where to go to eat at night, whether it's what movie to watch, or whether it's something more serious like a disagreement on how to raise your children. Well, if you're believing, trusting, and taking direction from that automatic brain that tells you you're being one-up, you're going to stand your ground, you're going to dig your heels in, and you're going to say, I'm right, you're wrong, and that's the end of it. And that will be a conflict, and that will be very detrimental to the relationship. It's also the possible danger of losing love. When you're in a conflict for disagreement, it's the threat of losing love, and that will cause you to fight or flee. Again, either fight with yelling and rage, or fleeing, being passive and withdrawing. Neither one of those is beneficial for the relationship, but that's where it stems from. That's why you have it, those feelings. That's why you get into the conflict, and that's why it lasts so long when you continue to believe, trust, and take direction from it. Now, if you find these videos helpful in any way, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be notified when I broadcast them, because I am going to continue doing this every week, and I'm going to talk about topics that I feel will help you in your everyday life, because these are issues that I have seen thousands of times and also experienced myself on occasion too, and I've had to learn how to deal with them and how to help other people deal with them. Also, on Patreon, patreon.com/CoachMD, I will go into more depth and have a close connection with you on these issues. And we could have a conversation about aspects of these, as well as some more videos that can help sort this out to help you deal with these conflicts, which are so difficult and so upsetting with any relationship. So subscribe to the YouTube channel below. An internal conflict is perhaps the most difficult to sort out and to get rid of, because now you're dealing just with yourself. And the internal conflict often comes from a struggle between right and wrong, whereas confrontation and disagreement often stem from the dangers of being one-upped or losing love. Internal conflict often stems from moving outside of our comfort zone. Now, what could that be? I mean, how could that be? Comfortable? Our comfort zone is conflict? No. But what we learn at a young age, in childhood, if we're around situations, if the culture of our childhood is one of conflict, is one of a struggle, is one of just uneasiness, what we do is we internalize that. And as we're growing as an adult, if we start not having conflict, if we start having an easier life, well, guess what? Our childhood is what sets us up for what we're going to reference any circumstance as an adult. So here's an adult, our adult self, and we're having a situation that's comfortable, that's calm, that's really good and empowering. Yet our childhood experiences, which has been stored in our memory banks, tells us that we've become used to and familiar with conflict. What's going to happen is this situation is going to tell our automatic brain that something's different, something's unfamiliar, and that's going to signal danger because it's different from this comfort zone, even though it's not a good comfort zone, and it's going to cause us to fight or flee, causing that internal conflict. That will sabotage many relationships. Doesn't matter whether it's a romantic relationship or a business relationship or friend relationship. That's why it's so important to understand the dynamic that this automatic brain, our primitive nature that causes us to fight or flight, will cause us to have conflict. And that's why I feel it was so important to discuss this in this part of the relationship series. So I'm excited to get on with this series. The next segment will be coming up next week. So join me for that. And until next time, I'm Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD, urging you to stay strong in mind, in body, and in soul. Bye for now. Dr. Charles, CoachMD, thanks for stopping by. Make sure to like and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you think you have a friend who might benefit from this video, share it with them. For access to exclusive content, support my Patreon. There you'll get private access to videos, meditations, health tips, even relationship and financial tips. You'll have a say in what I produce and be able to participate in a monthly call with me. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you soon.